Good afternoon, and welcome to the Wednesday afternoon conference call with Trusts Unlimited. This is Jim George speaking. I'm the non-attorney spokesman and facilitator for Trusts Unlimited. And thank God I was able to kill that music because I'm really tired of listening to it. We have a lot to discuss today, a lot of good news, a lot of individuals that hold the NAR, whether they're fortunate enough to also be one of our trust holders, have been waiting for quite a long time for what, in my opinion, is about to happen in Iraq. And there are so many things going through my mind that I'd like to discuss with you, but I decided to write down specifically what I wanted to talk about so that I don't go off on a tangent. But as I said, we've been involved in this for a long time. I, along with you as an investor, but also as someone that's been fortunate enough to talk to you each week on these conference calls. And so I'm excited, and I've got to kind of calm down and go through the information that I have. I hope I don't miss anything because my mind is racing. And I'm very anticipatory of all of this. I'm told from someone that I cannot be heard. If that's the case, would someone please tell me? I've got my volume up all the way. I don't know why I cannot be heard. Let me try this again.
We can't hear you.
Abandon their vehicle.
Driving at 245.
We can't hear you.
Whatever line items were omitted.
This is
Well, welcome to the Wednesday afternoon conference call with Trusts Unlimited. This is Jim George speaking. I'm the non-attorney spokesman and facilitator for Trusts Unlimited, and I'd like to thank all of you for patiently waiting for this call to begin. Today's April 29th, 2026. There is a lot going on. I've tried to bottom line everything for the simple reason that we are now receiving 100 calls a day, either requesting a trust application or asking questions about an application they received. So I want to provide the information as quickly as I can. I've already failed at that. And then move on. So let's get started. For those of us that have been on this long ride, we've been repeatedly told ad nauseum that in order for the Iraqi dinar to reinstitute and revalue, they needed security and stability. And I think I can say with some assurance that courtesy of President Trump, we may finally have arrived at the security and stability that's necessary for the reinstitution of the Iraqi dinar. Now, as you know, the problem has been all along the interference of Iran, next door neighbor, which unfortunately happens to be a terrorist nation and a nation that has been destabilizing the Middle East for decades. But Trump's solution to that has been quite profound, and I want first to start with that. If you've been paying attention to the news, on the one hand, you're probably amazed at what the Trump administration has accomplished with regard to neutralizing Iran. And on the other hand, you're wondering, well, why the hell didn't someone do this a lot sooner? Because what we've witnessed in the last, I'll say, couple of weeks is we've seen all of the leadership of Iran, the radical Shia mullahs, eliminated. We've seen the elimination of Iran's nuclear program, which was the threat that they held over the Middle East. The Trump administration has taken out Iran's Navy. They've taken out Iran's Air Force. They've taken out Iran's drone program. And they've opened the Strait of Hormuz for the free passage of oil, which is critical for Iraq, and Iran as well, but other states as well. So we're in a situation that we've been longing for quite some time. But also, Trump has done some things in Iraq which needed to be done as well, because the security and stability isn't just about the Middle East, it's also about Iraq itself. And what Trump has done is he's forced both Soudani and Maliki out, and they were both impediments to the reinstitution of the Iraqi dinar. He's forced the parliament, inclusive of the coalition framework, to proceed with what is necessary for the reinstitution of the Iraqi dinar. We've also seen the selection of al-Azidi as the new prime minister, candidate prime minister. He is a moderate Shia. He's a technocrat, meaning he's good at management and administration. And again, because he's a moderate Shia, he is not behooving to the mullahs of Iran or any of the other radical Shia in the Middle East. The other thing Trump has done is he is holding Iraqi funds to be utilized once the reinstitution and revaluation of the dinar occurs. This is being done through the Federal Reserve Bank of New York and J.P. Morgan as well. And in addition to holding those funds for the benefit of Iraq, he's also made it impossible for Iran to continue to steal and pilfer from the nation state of Iraq. So those deposits, again, in the Federal Reserve Bank of New York and with J.P. Morgan, are not only held for Iraq and protection against Iran, but they're also being frozen by the Trump administration until Iraq reinstitutes their currency. So Trump has done a number of things. He has neutralized Iran. He has neutralized the Iranian allied officials within Iraq. He's frozen their finances and holding them not into perpetuity, but until Iraq reinstitutes their currency. And once, of course, Iraq reinstitutes their currency, and we'll see the funding of the budget and all of the other things that need to happen, the Iraqi dinar will then hit the Forex. We can debate about what the rate's going to be, but we know it's going to be substantially higher even than it was when it went into the program rate many years ago. So it's almost anticlimactic, but what we've witnessed in the last couple of weeks is frankly what we've been waiting for the last couple of decades. So this is huge. And those of us that have dinar should be very happy about this situation, because whether you love him or you hate him, the President of the United States is the one that can force the reinstitution of the Iraqi dinar. And that's exactly what he's doing. Not just for the benefit of the Iraqi citizens, but for the benefit of the United States and those of us within the United States that have been holding Iraqi dinar. Now, I'm moving quickly here because everyone that's been paying close attention knows that this is exactly what's happening, that we have finally broken through in Iraq. And now I think we can say with some certitude that we can expect the reinstitution and revaluation of the Iraqi dinar literally at any time. And that's a comment that we have not been able to make, again, actually for decades. Trusts Unlimited got involved with those of you that have dinar because we ourselves are dinarians. And because we're an estate planning firm, we've established the trust that we feel best serves the needs of those of us that are going to receive this windfall. Now, we established this trust for other dinarians because we know statistically that 2 out of 5 windfalls, unfortunately, are lost within 3 to 5 years due to mismanagement and litigation. Now, there's not a lot we can do about mismanagement, although the establishment of this trust will help you because it will give you some guidelines with regard to the management of these assets. But Trusts Unlimited has created a specific trust package for dinarians that's going a long way to helping you to avoid any possible litigation in the future. And for those of you who may not know, once you become a very wealthy individual, you are a target for litigation because litigation is about confiscation of wealth. So if you're not a wealthy person, it's unlikely you're going to be involved in litigation. But if you are, in fact, a person of substantial means, and you will be in the very near future, you are a target for litigation. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth. So let me talk a little bit about the trust package that we've established to assist you. This package has a number of benefits that anyone who receives a potential windfall that we're talking about is going to want to provide. Now, it is true that you could establish a trust after you've acquired this wealth, but the problem is you've lost a lot of the potential benefits that are going to be available to you by not preemptively establishing this trust in anticipation of that wealth. So let's take a normal dinarian who contacts Trusts Unlimited and says, I've heard about you guys, and I kind of understand that wealthy individuals establish trusts for a number of reasons. So I'd like to get your trust package and have a better understanding of why it might be a good idea to establish a trust. Now, a lot of individuals that contact us do so with the belief that they're going to get this information about the trust because after they've acquired this wealth, they're going to set up a trust to protect that wealth. And while that might be better than nothing, it's the horse is out of the barn. What you need to do is to establish this trust before you've actually acquired this wealth. And you have some advantages here because if you have the Iraqi dinar and perhaps the Vietnamese dong and some of these other currencies, you're not really on the grid because they're not very valuable at this time, and you're not earning interest on it that you have to declare on your tax return. So as the holder of the Iraqi dinar and perhaps the dong and some of these other currencies, you're still off the grid. But by assigning those pre-RV currencies to our trust, you will remain off the grid even after you've acquired this wealth. Now, why does the trust protect you? How does the trust keep you off the grid? Why are you better off by establishing this trust pre-RV rather than establishing it post-RV? Well, let's walk through these benefits. Trusts have been around for a very long time. They go far back into Western history, all the way back to the Caesars of Rome and the royalty of Europe and the nouveau riche of the United States, who established trusts to protect their wealth generationally. Now, there are other assets you can set up, LLCs, sub-S corporations, limited family partnerships, things of that nature, but they don't provide the benefits that this trust package will provide, because nothing will provide the benefits that this trust package will provide. I'm going to tick off briefly the benefits that this trust package will provide, and understand that as I discuss each of these benefits are available under no other entity than a trust package of this type. And before I proceed, I want to let you know that this trust package was created specifically for Dinarians by our lead attorney, Robert Bly, who is an author and nationally known estate planner. I myself hold degrees in political science, macroeconomics, and finance. Bob and I, though I hate to admit it, have each been involved in our relative disciplines for over 40 years. So between the two of us, Robert Bly and I have over 80 years' experience working precisely with trusts of this nature. When I first ran across Bob, we crossed paths because of the dinar, actually. I had an opportunity to look at his trust package, and in my humble opinion, I thought it was absolutely the best trust package that I'd ever seen. And it was structured in such a way that was particularly beneficial for individuals of little or no wealth, but who owned one thing: some of these pre-valued currencies. So if you hold these currencies and you believe those currencies are going to revalue, and you believe that the numbers you're hearing about the value at revaluation, and I've run these numbers more times than I can count, and these numbers are real, then by establishing this trust pre-RV, you're going to enjoy, and your generational, your children and your grandchildren are going to enjoy benefits that they could not enjoy without the establishment of this trust, period, full stop. Well, what are those benefits? Well, first, privacy and anonymity. You are the beneficiary of the trust, But the assets within that trust are sealed. So unless someone can successfully sue you, which is an extremely and daunting task with this trust, and I'll explain why in more detail in a minute, this is absolute bulletproof protection for you. No one will know what you possess because you possess it through the trust. You're the beneficiary of the trust. But the trust is the guard that makes it virtually impossible for anyone to even know what's in that trust, let alone to successfully sue you. The second benefit is IRS scrutiny. If you are holding these currencies in direct title, I can assure you the IRS is going to be knocking on your door to understand how you became so filthy rich over such a short period of time. Now, that may not seem like that's important enough, but anyone that's been audited by the IRS knows, and pardon my French, it's a royal pain in the ass. And if that's something that you can avoid, particularly after you've acquired this wealth, the last thing in the world you want to be doing is audits of the Fed, or excuse me, of the IRS. The IRS likes to move quickly. When they see that the currencies that you once possessed had been transferred and assigned to a very sophisticated trust package, they're going to rightfully assume that you have very competent legal counsel and that you've dotted the I's and crossed the T's, and they're most likely going to move along. But even if they don't, it's going to be fairly easy for you to explain. You purchase currencies, pre-valued currencies. You assign them to the trust. The currency is revalued. The wealth is in that trust for your benefit and to be protected for your benefit. So the IRS issue is gone. The next issue is gifting of currencies. I would say without exaggeration that the vast majority of our trust holders are individuals that contacted us that they wanted to gift currencies to family and friends and even their children. But their concern was that these individuals, for any number of reasons, might not be able or willing to manage large sums of money. So Robert Bly and I discussed this, and we decided to add one additional subtrust to our package. Remember, this package has a master trust that will hold financial assets like bank accounts, investment accounts, etc., but a series of subtrusts that hold homes, cars, boats, etc. The legal strategy is simple: segregation of assets. So if any one of your assets gets involved in litigation, it would only be that one asset, a rental property, a car accident, boat, whatever. All of your other assets are in separate subtrusts, which under the law are separate legal entities not involved in the litigation. But we added one. We actually created a special, what we call a gift subtrust. So what this means is, for those of you that want to give currencies to family and friends and are, again, concerned because those individuals may not be able to manage the money or they might be minor children, you gift the currencies to these individuals through the gift subtrust, which means that when the currency or currencies revalue, the money that you have earmarked for them in this gift subtrust is there for them, but you will be managing that money for their benefit. Now, some of these individuals you may do little or nothing to assist. Other individuals, you may need to manage the money entirely. I'm going to go ahead and give you some specific examples that we've had. We've had individuals that were gifted currencies that were in car accidents, severely injured and incapacitated. We have individuals with mental or emotional problems that individuals feel they just simply cannot manage the money for their own benefit. And, of course, a lot of money was given to minors who obviously can't manage the money for themselves. Now, if you want to transfer that management to them when they're of age and you feel that they're capable, you can certainly do that. But the point is, you're able now to gift currencies to individuals that you ordinarily would be unwilling to gift because you've gifted the currency to them, and through this gift subtrust, you still have control of the post-RB proceeds. This can only be done with Trusts Unlimited because we wrote the subtrust to accomplish this task. Fourth benefit of this trust package, it's structured in such a way as to allow your state to avoid the cost and delay of probate and the federal estate tax. Why? What is probate and what is the federal estate tax? Probate is the process of transferring your estate, your wealth, to your heirs. And the federal estate tax is the tax that's assessed in order to accomplish that transfer. And remember, the federal estate tax is a tax that's assessed on your estate after you've paid federal income tax, state income tax, taxes on gains from investments, taxes on gains from the purchase of real estate and other assets. In other words, your estate is the net after you've been paying taxes on that estate for your entire life. Now you transfer that wealth to your heirs, and they have to pay a federal estate tax, another tax. Well, because your wealth is in our trust, there is no probate and there is no federal estate tax. Why? Because when you pass away, the assets remain in trust for the benefit of your beneficiaries. That means since there's no transfer of ownership, there's no estate tax with regard to that transfer of ownership. That means that when you pass away, your heirs will receive 100 cents on a dollar of what's been accumulated in that trust for your entire life. That, again, can only be accomplished through this trust package. So when you assess all of these benefits, and you are the holder of the dinar and some of these other currencies, you not only are going to receive a windfall profit from the reinstitution and revaluation of these currencies, but you're going to be able to protect it from the prying eyes of the public. You are going to be able to protect it from the sticky fingers of people that file frivolous lawsuits. You're going to be able to protect it from confiscatory taxes, and you're going to be able to transfer that wealth immediately without probate, without the peering eyes of the public, and without an onerous federal estate tax, which can be close to 50% of the entire estate. Your heirs will receive 100 cents on a dollar, again, of everything that you've accumulated over your lifetime. Now, our trust package is initially a package of 10 trusts consisting of one master trust that will hold financial assets like bank accounts, investment accounts, etc. One optional gift subtrust if you want to create it for the benefit of your children or others that you feel are not up to the task of managing a substantial sum, and 8 additional subtrusts to hold physical assets like homes, cars, boats, etc. Now, this was the simplification of a rather sophisticated trust package that Robert Bly's firm had been utilizing literally for decades for wealthy individuals. A package that had a cost of well over $10,000. But when we made the determination that individuals with currencies, and frankly, the reason we even had this conversation was because we happened to be currency holders ourselves. We understood the leverage of these currencies, that the average denarian was a middle-class individual, that the revaluation of these currencies was going to make you literally overnight a very wealthy individual. So we knew that establishing a preemptive trust was going to be something that was going to benefit you greatly in addition to the acquisition of this wealth. So Bob took this rather sophisticated, rather expensive trust package that was designed for wealthy individuals. He streamlined it and marketed it for the general denarian public. By doing so, we've been able to reduce the cost of this trust package to $2,500. So for $2,500, you're going to have a trust package that multimillionaires utilize to protect the wealth that they had. You will be using it to protect the wealth that you're about to receive. Now, you can contact us by phone or by email if you'd like to get our initial no-obligation package. It contains everything you need if you wish to proceed with the establishment of your pre-RV Asset Protection Trust, but you're under no obligation to do so. You can contact us again by phone or email if you'd like to get our initial package. We'll get it out to you right away. One thing I do want to mention while I think of it. With what's been going on in Iran/Iraq in the last couple of weeks, I have received literally hundreds of requests for our trust package, and individuals that do have our trust package and just want to nail down a couple of things have some questions. I've been doing my best to respond to you, but I literally right now still have over 100 individuals I need to contact. When this call is over, I'm going to go get a cup of coffee, and then I'm going to be back on the phone and with the email, and I will not stop until I've contacted each and every one of you, and I wanted to get that out. So those of you that are listening to this call and have made what I consider a wise decision to contact us to get our initial no-obligation package, we are going to do everything we can to get that trust package in your hands this week. So I'm a busy guy. I have a large family. My daughter's in the hospital right now delivering a grandchild. But I'm here doing my job. And I'll stay here till we're done. So having said all of this, I'm going to go ahead and go to our Q&A, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. While I'm waiting for any potential questions, I want to give you our contact information. If the things we've discussed are of interest, I strongly suggest you contact us to get our initial no-obligation package. You can contact us by email or phone. Our email address is trusts with an S, unlimited, LLC at gmail.com. That's trusts with an S, unlimited, LLC at gmail.com. Our phone service is 307-274-4122. That's 307-274-4122. Contact us by email or phone. We will get our trust package out to you just as quickly as possible. Bear in mind that I have a lot of calls. The only fair way to do this is to take them in order. But, again, if I work through the rest of today and tomorrow, I should be able to contact each and every one of you, and you should have your initial no-obligation trust package certainly by Friday, if not by the end of business tomorrow. So let's go to our Q&A. Our first caller is area code 347. That's 347. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have. Okay, now Al-Zaidi, the Prime Minister designate, I've heard that he has funneled. Maybe in the past through his bank accounts, he's funneled money to the IGRC. Is that just a rumor, or has it been proven? Or
I've heard that it's a rumor. It's not been confirmed, but this is an individual that Trump wanted. And remember, Trump is managing the cash flow over there. So I do think this gentleman is most likely the right choice, if no other reason that everyone else would be worse. But this thing is being micromanaged by the Trump administration, and I think no one wants this done more than he does. I know I've been told I happen to know someone in his cabinet through other associates, and I've been told that they're all anxious denarians. So that's very good news for us. Okay.
Now, do you think the CBI governor should be replaced, or you think that is the CBI governor? I mean, I know it's the CBI governor's decision to revalue the currency, but do you somewhat blame the CBI governor for not doing it, or what do you think?
I just think foot dragging is unfortunately the way the Middle East operates. And the best guy I can think of to grab these people by the scruff of the neck and get them to get business done is Trump. And Trump now, I think what I think Trump's done is I think he's given them a timetable, and he's told them what he's going to do if they don't honor that timetable. And of course, you already know what he's done with the transfer of funds to protect them against pilfering of Iran and some of the Iranian officials in Iraq as well. So I think Trump's all over this, and he's a mensch. He's the kind of guy that you want because these people, there's just too much tribalism and infighting to get things done. They needed a strong horse to push this through, and I think the Trump administration's all over it.
Okay, I have another thing about what about now the blockade and the U.S. blockade of Iran in Iran, would that in the Gulf, would that delay the RV, or how do you see that?
It'll help it. Iran's the impediment. What Trump basically has done is they're broke. Their Navy's gone. Their Air Force is gone. They can't deliver any oil. They're broke, and he's just letting them know. He just keeps letting them know it's just going to get worse for you. You just Iraq's none of your business. As I said, he's put a chokehold on him, and it's probably going to stay there till all of this is done. And that's another reason for Iran to behave, because if Iran wants to be released, they have to get out of the way, and that means to allow Iraq to proceed with the reinstitution of their currency.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure. All right. Bye-bye now. Our next caller is area code 210. That's 210. Go ahead.
Hey, Jim, it's Ted in Texas.
Yes, sir.
I heard that they, in their reconfirming of the Constitution, that they've already slipped by that the last days to make all that permanent for the next 30 days was Saturday and Sunday. And they've got to start all over now, putting it all back together. Is there anything to that?
Yes and no. I don't think it's going to, they can ask for 30 days, but sometimes you ask for that, but you don't need that. You just might as well, if I can get it, I'll take it. But worst case scenario, okay, another 30 days. This is just my opinion. I think this is going to be done long before that. Okay? But let's say it's 30 days. I mean, I don't know how long you've had currencies, but if someone told me, Jim, set up an appointment for the bank in 30 days to exchange your currency, I'm good with that.
Oh, yeah. I agree. I've been there a long time, so I understand.
Yeah, as long as we've been on
I know they...
30 days is prayers answered as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
But I understand your point. I understand. Yeah. We're dealing with the Middle East. I shouldn't say this, but I can't wait to be rid of the whole Middle East. I mean, I want the revaluation to happen. I want to go to the bank. I want to exchange my currencies. But I don't want to have anything more to deal with them. I don't understand them. I don't like the way they operate. I don't like that they're slippery. And so it's just the way it is. So, like I said, I'm just going to walk away and not look back.
Okay. Sounds good. I appreciate it, Jim. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. Our next caller is area code 615. That's 615. Go ahead.
Morning, Jim. This is Bill in Nashville. How are you today?
Yes. Hey, Bill. How are you?
Good, good. Congratulations, Grandpa.
Thanks. Yeah. Again. Yeah. I can't remember how many we have. I should, but I mean it might be 10.
Well,
you know. So. So
teach him
so I need some money. I need to exchange these currencies, man.
Hey, by the way, I saw an Aston Martin on one of the classic cars sales ones. I can't remember which one it was, whether it was classic cars or whatever, but it was an older Aston Martin. I remember that that was one on your to-do list.
Right. Yeah. I want to. That's one of the things I want. I'm sure my wife's gonna have a little bit of a problem with that, and so I've got to figure out what she wants. You know. But
that's exactly right. Give it to her first.
Yeah. Well, the problem is if I get an Aston Martin, then the grandkids are going to be like, "Okay, Grandpa, who gets that?"
Yeah. That's true.
Share it. Well, actually, what I'd really like. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Put it into a trust.
Excuse me? Exactly.
Put the Aston Martin into a trust.
Well, of course. Yeah, it'll be in the trust. What I'd like to do is, I don't know why I'm telling you this. I don't think anyone cares, but I'd like a car collection and a guitar collection. I'm a guitarist, and I'd like to get a classic guitar collection. And I have relatives that are also guitarists, better than me, and we get together and jam once in a while. And I broke out Led Zeppelin on them one time, and they were like, "Okay, you're okay with us." But you know, there's a lot of things we can do after this is over. And for those of us that have had to keep the lights on and had to keep working and have currencies and been patient through the it's done, it's not done, it's going to happen tomorrow, it's not going to happen. We're rounding the final turn here, and the catalyst, and this is just my opinion, the catalyst for this is Trump. I think he's grabbed everyone by the scruff of the neck and said, enough is enough. You need the money. We need the money. Get this done. And so I think that we're all going to be in the banks in the relatively near future, and it's time to, you know, fund some of the dreams. And I hear from people all the time what they'd like to do. Most people are not very selfish. Most people want to help others. So this money's going to go a long way.
Yep. It's going to be a good thing for all, hopefully.
I agree.
Okay. We got all that out of the way. Just one quick question. Recordation of the trusts. Do you recommend it? Does it make any difference in the enforceability?
No, you don't need to worry about that. Common law trust called good in all 50 states. You don't need to worry about that.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Again, congratulations.
Sir, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, our next caller is area code 8. Let's see. Oh, excuse me. 808.
Hello.
That's 808. Go ahead. Hello.
Hi there. I don't have a question.
Hi, how are you? Oh, you don't?
I am great. I just want to say I'm with you. We've been here forever. And if, like you said, if we have a month more to go, I'm good with that. I don't want to buy a car collection. I don't need a guitar collection. And I know you have had that on your list forever. What I really want to do is, like you, I have a very large family, and I would like us to be comfortable. And I praise the Lord for all that He's done for us along the way. You have a great day. And
thank you so much.
I thank you. I thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Aloha.
Bye-bye now. Aloha.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that was Daisy. She's a little flower, as you can tell. She was our last caller for today. I'd like to thank all of you for taking the time to listen to this call. I think it was a really good one. I think the things that we've been waiting for are just around the corner. And I certainly hope that those of you that have been kind enough to listen but have not as yet contacted us to get our initial no obligation package in order to establish your trust pre-RV. Will contact us. I've got a lot of people to contact, but this is going to be my job every day, all day, until each and every one of you have your questions answered, get the trust package that you need, and make whatever changes need to be made along the way. Now, our next call is scheduled for next Wednesday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Certainly, if something of a dramatic nature were to happen between now and then, we'll try to get out an emergency email and schedule an emergency conference call. But failing that, we'll be back next Wednesday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Thanks for listening. It's a very exciting week. Contact us if you have not as yet gotten your trust package. Have a great week, everyone. God bless.
Recorded.